So Dana White in the UFC recently announced Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje to be headlining a UFC 291 pay-per-view event in Salt Lake City in Utah. And I've got like a lot of thoughts about this fight. I am going to be picking Justin Gaethje to get his win back against Dustin Poirier, because if you are not aware, these two have fought each other before, and Dustin Poirier did manage to defeat Justin Gaethje in the 4th round by KO. It is also worth noting that this fight is going to be at elevation, which we'll talk about later, and it's also worth noting that this belt is for the BMF belt, if that makes any sense at all. And before we get into that as well, this is like my 3rd time recording this video. YouTube is seeming to have problems with me upload. I don't really know what's going on, but hopefully this video can get out to you guys. This was meant to come out yesterday, but I deleted the video, and now I'm recording it again, if that makes any sense. But now let's just kind of get into the prediction. Let's get into the video. As I said in the intro, as I said just before, Justin Gaethje is actually going to be my pick, and I've got like a kind of bunch of different sort of reasons for that, but I feel like a big main factor is the fact that Justin Gaethje did look so good against Rafael Fiziev, which I thought was going to be potentially a nightmare matchup for Justin Gaethje, because when you think of Justin Gaethje, you kind of do think of a wrestler that has fallen in love with his hands, right? And you wouldn't really describe Justin Gaethje as a technical striker. You wouldn't really describe him as like a smart striker either. He kind of likes to get into brawls. He likes to throw hands. He is very good at doing that. But I did think someone like Rafael Fiziev, who was like the Tiger Muay Thai kickboxing coach, fantastic kickboxer, had really technical fight with Brad Riddell on the feet. I know Brad Riddell is unranked and kind of doing his own thing in his career right now, but the point is that was still a very high level kickboxing match, and Rafael Fiziev is a very high level kickboxer. He knocked out Rafael dos Anjos. And I thought it was going to be a nightmare matchup to Gaethje. I thought Fiziev was going to smack the legs with his leg kicks, and I thought he was going to work the body like Dustin Poirier exposed in their first fight. In the first fight between these two, which happened in 2018, Dustin Poirier kind of gave away a game plan to defeat Justin Gaethje on the feet, and that is to work the body. Dustin Poirier had a lot of success working the body against Justin Gaethje in their first fight way back in 2018. And potentially he could do that again, especially since this fight is going to be at Salt Lake City in Utah. It's going to be at elevation. I believe it's called elevation, you know, when you go high up above sea level. You know what I mean anyway. But I don't think that's going to hurt Gaethje. I think that's going to hurt Poirier if it hurts anyone, because the reason why I say that is Justin Gaethje trains at elevation. He trains with Kamaru Usman. I believe he still trains with Trevor Whitman as well for Team Elevation, at elevation with Kamaru Usman, who, if you guys can recall back to UFC 278, I believe it was, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 2, where Leon Edwards gassed out badly in the 2nd and the 3rd rounds, and Kamaru Usman was able to kind of push a pace for 4-5 rounds. And everyone else on that card gassed out. Remember, Alexander Romanov absolutely dominated Marcin Tybura in the 1st round and had absolutely nothing left in the 2nd round. Now, you could argue that wasn't really due to elevation, because what kind of did happen was the same thing happened against Alexander Volkov. I believe that was in the Apex. But the point still stands, right? Everyone on that card, aside from Kamaru Usman and maybe a couple of others, gassed out really early in the card, and it was because the event was at elevation. It had a massive effect on the entire card, on all of the fighters except for Kamaru Usman, because Kamaru Usman has trained at elevation before and he was used to that climate, I guess you could say. I guess you could call it a climate, the altitude, not the altitude, the elevation above sea level. So that's kind of like what I mean. So Justin Gaethje is going to be more used to that elevation than Dustin Poirier. So I would maybe make an argument that Gaethje is going to be more able to go 5 rounds than Dustin Poirier, purely because of that fact. Obviously, Poirier does have good cardio himself. We've seen it before. But also, Gaethje trains at elevation and has also got good cardio in his own right as well, especially since he does train at elevation. Now, there is definitely ways for Poirier to win this fight, but I do believe this will be a striking fight. I don't think Gaethje will take it to the ground. I don't think Poirier will take it to the ground. There was a bit of grappling in Poirier's fight against Michael Chandler, but Michael Chandler, you may not want to hear this, but Michael Chandler cheated so much in that fight, man. Chandler fought a very dirty fight against Dustin Poirier, so Poirier just kind of did what he had to do to get by in the fight, I guess. But I think this is an interesting matchup. I'm happy the rematch is happening. I'm a little bit unhappy about Arman Tsarukyan not really getting the opportunity. Probably more so it was Dustin Poirier that was probably the guy that would have to fight down the rankings, because Justin Gaethje gave Rafael Fiziev the opportunity to fight him. But I genuinely think if Justin Gaethje wins, this is an if Justin Gaethje wins, I think you probably see Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier 3. You know, because that would be a very interesting matchup. Put a trilogy, maybe another pay-per-view main event at the end of the year. The winner 110% gets a title shot, because at the moment Islam Makhachev is kind of like gonna fight Dariush, or is he gonna fight the winner of this fight, or is he gonna fight Oliveira if he wins, or is he gonna fight Volkanovski? The lightweight division right now is a bit of a logjam, and to be fair, it's not really Islam Makhachev's fault, because he did defend his belt against Volkanovski quite quickly after he defeated Charles Oliveira. But I would kind of like to see Islam Makhachev maybe make another 4, 5, 6 month turnaround, give or take, after his fight in October. Who we don't know who it's going to be against. Is that October fight going to be against Alexander Volkanovski? Is it going to be against the winner of this fight? Is it going to be the winner of the Dariush Oliveira fight? Who knows? I think I've got a little bit sidetracked. But while I am talking about belts, why are we doing the BMF belt? I understand that it's kind of like a cool prop to add to the top of the pay-per-view, I guess. Kind of have people a bit more excited for the fight. I don't know if I'm on an island on this one here, because I do see a lot of people online say that they like the BMF belt, they think it's cool. Personally, I think the BMF belt's a bit cringe. I really do. I don't really understand the purpose of it. I do think as a one-off for the Nate Diaz-Jorge Masvidal fight, it was actually a pretty cool idea. But, like, why are these two fighting for it? You know what I mean? Like, why is Poirier and Gaethje fighting for the BMF belt? I wouldn't really say these guys are the scariest guys in the division, you know, because you look at their careers, I guess aside from the one-off against Gaethje, against Fiziev for Gaethje, all of these guys have done is fight the big names in the lightweight division and not given any up-and-coming guys an opportunity to fight them. Look at Poirier, Chandler, he fought the champion, Oliveira at the time, McGregor twice, and Dan Hooker, who I guess was the up-and-coming guy, but that was almost 3 years ago. And that was after Dan Hooker made a really good call-out against Dustin Poirier. So, you know, these guys have been due for a long time to give an up-and-coming guy an opportunity, and it seems like they just would rather fight Michael Chandler instead, you know? So I don't really know if these two are the most fitting for a BMF belt. Like, if you're going to do the BMF belt and these days, like who would you even do it against? Like, who's even... Or, like, would you do, like, maybe, like, I don't know, like, this might sound stupid, like, Tai Tuivasa versus someone? That would be cool if they were to do that. But who else, man? I can't really think of anyone. Anyone, really? I mean, geez, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe you guys let me know in the comments what you think about the BMF belt, and if the BMF belt was to be put on the line today, who do you think should fight for it? And with that, I'm probably just going to end the video. I feel like maybe I got a little bit off topic a little bit, but the lightweight division is very interesting at the moment. Before I do, though, I will mention that I have already made a video on the Ikram Liskarov versus Paulo Costa fight. This is obviously this one. I've already made a video on the Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley fight. I will do the Pereira versus Blachowicz fight. I'm going to have to think about this one a bit more. Probably rewatch Jan Blachowicz versus Ankalaev before I get into that. And I will do individual videos for all of these. Also, Kevin Lee's big return has been announced. Dude, there's so many little individual videos that I can do. So I'm going to be really trying to pump out these videos for you guys. I will be live streaming for the UFC event this weekend. I will also be live streaming for Devin Haney versus Vasil Lomachenko, because I'm really looking forward to that fight. If you guys don't know, I haven't really made it that public, but this is a little Easter egg for the guys who made it to the end of the video. I'm actually going to be making my amateur boxing debut sometime before the end of the year. So I've been getting really into boxing. I'm in much better shape now than I was at the start of the year. I don't know if you guys can notice it now, but hopefully over time you will notice that I'll be losing weight. And I'm getting fit. I'm getting really fit. I'm getting ready, man. I'm gonna make my first fight. You know, I've trained for so long, on and off. To be fair, on and off. But yeah, I'm officially announcing it here at the end of the video. For the guys that made it, I will be making my amateur boxing debut towards the end of the year. It's still a long way away, but it's definitely going to happen, and I'm really looking forward to this next kind of part, I guess, of my life, becoming a part of combat sports myself. So I'm really looking forward to that. But let me know what you think in the comments of, maybe not of that situation, but of the video in general. I'll see you guys in the next one.